video I'm gonna show you how to quickly create UDIMs, apply some material on your mesh, like in a fancy way with a material node that I had created, and also bake that into UDIM for gaming or something like that, okay? In a more realistic way and faster way. For that, I will recommend you a tool that I'm using personally, because if I do that manually in Blender, just by Blender defaults, it will take like 10 times more, okay? That's the approach that I'm kind of using to kind of match with Substance Painter, let's say that, right? So I am trying to use Blender as much as I can. That's why I'm showing you this approach, right? I know the industry uses Substance Painter, and I really recommend to use Substance Painter. But if you don't want to mess around with Substance Painter and want something nice, that's the approach, okay? First, let's take a look and see if we have our mesh unwrapped, okay? So if we select our mesh, that's our mesh. I'm not sure if it's unwrapped. We have some UVs here. The UV is here. It's UV maps. It's just one UV, okay? So right now the mesh has 3 different materials, right? Applied here. Let me show you these different materials, right? What I will do is I'm going to any of those materials, it doesn't matter, right? And I will create a texture here, texture, image texture, right? I will create a new texture, right? And in this texture I will choose tile, okay? Tile, and 1024 is okay for this, for the sake of this, because I'm gonna create a UDIM, so we will have more resolution, okay? New image, okay? This is the texture, right? Oh no, this is not the texture. Yeah, untitled. This is the texture. Okay, so I have my texture here. What I have to do now, take a look. I have those options because I created tile texture. So what I will create is another one. It goes just on this side, and another one. Okay, I will create one for each material, right? So right now I'm going to select my mesh here, okay, and select wherever is with this material. That's how I'm gonna do, but you can unwrap it in any way, okay? I will select everything first just to make sure, and I will unwrap using minimum stretch, okay? Oh no, smart UV project, okay? Because I don't have any seams. I'm not doing any really fancy unwrap. I'm just going straight forward, right? So right now I'm going here. Let me change a little bit my UDIMs. I will fill this tile with a different color, maybe something like this. Okay, fill. I will do this one with something different, just because I want to see, right, different colors here. And this one I will do something like maybe this, okay? So I know where the UDIM starts, okay? So now I'm gonna select wherever is on this material, so those are the UV, okay? I will select that, and I'm gonna do that here in this first UDIM tiles. You just need to put your UVs close or kind of inside it. It doesn't need to be exactly inside. And then you go here in your UVs and pack island. So I have that on my short quick favorites. So I will do that right away. It's gonna pack it here. Okay, let's wait. Oh, come on. Okay, it's packed, right? So now I'm gonna select these guys, this guy here, okay? I'll select this, go back here to my previous texture. When I select here, because in this material I don't have that texture in this material, so it changes automatically, okay? But it doesn't really matter, right? So what I will do is I will select my texture here, which is untitled, okay? And I will, let me close this guy here. Select everything, bring it near to the other UDIM and pack island again. Again, right now I'm working just on the UVs, okay? So now I'm going here and select everything on this guy, right? And just make sure that I'm just having whatever I have selected, okay? And not the other one. Just grab this, bring it here, and press Pack Island. Okay, so now if I select everything, I have my textures packet, my UV textures packet in a UDIM texture, right? Which is this one right here. Okay, let's call this unified texture. Unified texture. Okay. So that's my unified texture, right? And I have this unwrapped already. So now I'm gonna be working on the, I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna be working on the materials, okay? Right now I'm gonna be working on the materials. So we have this red material. Let's go to render and see how it looks like. It's a simple red material, right? But I want something fancier. So for that, I have this special texture here in my asset browser, right? I'm gonna remove, oh no, not removing my main UDIM texture, but removing everything else, and drag my special texture here, okay? And then this one I'm gonna connect inside the color, okay? And for this one, what happened is I have some settings here. Right now, this is my main setting. I'm gonna bring it to the red again, okay? Something like this, right? But now I have all these other parameters, okay? And now I'm gonna start to crank up a little bit with this black texture here to see what's gonna happen, okay? It starts to giving me some results, okay? Something like this, right? And something like this, maybe, okay? Maybe something like that, okay? And I also want to have bevel, right, to simulate that my rounded corners on my edges. So I'm going to normal, and then I start to crank up a little bit the bevel edges, okay? So I'm starting to crank a little bit, but for that I have to apply into normal, okay? Now I have my bump, so I will reduce the bump, right? Something like this. So I have some information, and now you can see I have my rounded edges, okay? If I remove it completely, it will be like this. So I will kind of make it something like this. So now we have a nicer object, right? Let's put this onto the metallic as well, and put this onto the roughness. So we have something like this, and specular into specular, okay? Now that is our material, but I also want to have some imperfections at the edge. So I go here to the edge, right? Bring this a little bit darker, and I start to scale up and see what's gonna happen. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. Then I can use some noise, right, on these, and stretches or something like that, right, and I can scale them down, right, and change the frequency a little bit. So it's gonna be, we will have some imperfections all over the place, okay, something like this. And regarding to those imperfections, I may want to my bump to have something on these imperfections. So I would use rust edges. So now if you see, our bump has something going on here. Let's increase the strength, okay, so you guys can see more or less what is happening here. I like to have my normal inverted, okay, so my roughness inverted. I don't want these parts to be that rough, so I go to my roughness settings here, okay, and then I will invert it, okay, and I will apply just my texture, right, and I will mix down here and kind of create it something more like this, okay, and try to mix them, right, something like that. Okay, and for this color I'm gonna use it something like more rust, something more like this. Okay, and I can also use a texture. You know what, let's grab a texture. I think it's gonna be even fancier. Okay, let's grab a rusty texture, something like that, okay, and put object, and here we can use box and crank this guy up a little bit, right, something like that. Okay, that's this material, right, that's this material. I think it's kind of cool, okay, so whatever I'm doing is, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna carry this guy, copy, just for the sake of not losing more time, paste this guy, and bring the color, bring the metallic, bring the roughness, normal and specular, right down here. Okay, so now this is my material. The only thing that I would change is this color to black, okay, something like this, okay, and this other color I will choose it something like white or something like this. Oh no, this one I'm gonna go black, better, and this one I'm gonna go a little bit white, okay, so something like this. And for the bump I want this to be inverted, my normal, right, I will invert it, so I want this to be crunching down, okay, but I would like to have this guy a little bit more metallic, so I don't know, maybe that's good. Man, honestly, I think that's good, to be honest. Oh, this part is okay. So far so good. I think I like this. I like this. I'm gonna go a little bit more metallic, right? So let's go metallic and let's increase. or let's invert it a little bit. No, let's invert it a little bit. So now we have this more metallic, okay, more metallic, and for this more metallic I will kind of make this a little bit brighter and this a little bit even brighter, something like this. Okay, so now we have this, the feeling of more metallic things here happening, right? And if I want just pure metallic, I go here and just I mix it completely, okay? But I don't want that, so I want something like this, okay? Something like that. That's fine. That's so far so good. So right now I'm going to the metal, okay? Remove this guy here. I will apply the same thing, red one, okay? But oh, I forgot these guys, those guys. Anyway, it doesn't matter, okay? For this guy, I will kind of just make it like this, right? Something like that. And I will clunk a little bit more the bump. Go here to normal, increase the bump. Okay, let's see how it is. The bump, increase this. It's not happening because I didn't connect with metal, with roughness, with normal, and with specular. Okay, so now we have lots of bump. It's not what we want, but the direction is fine, so something like this, it's okay. Okay, so for the roughness, let's bring it into a little bit more roughness. So let's bring this a little bit down, something like this. And for the metallic, right, let's increase this. So let's bring this to more metallic, okay? And for the roughness, we can play around a little bit with something like this, okay? Something like that. But I also want to add to this metal, maybe I'm gonna increase a little bit the mask here. Let's increase the mask, the size of our mask, which is here, okay, something like this, right? That's okay, but I will crank up a little bit more the edges, right? I will use the frequency 0, and I will not using that much noisy, something like this, right? Not that much scratches. Maybe use a frequency, yes, frequency is good. Okay, something like this, right? But this material doesn't have the auto smooth. I think it's important to have the auto smooth, because now we can have the auto smooth of it and keep sharpness. Okay, we can even use 50 instead, so we have some sharpness area, right? So now that we have textured our material in this way, I'm going to the metal. It's too clean. Let me add the second diffuse, because we have two diffuses, right? This one, which is the one that we've been working on, and this one, right? So to blend those two diffuses, I have this blending control here. Okay, let's start to blend it a little bit. Okay, and just kind of cranking up a little bit and see how it blends. Okay, you can see how it is blending now. We do something like this. Okay, something like that. It's good. Okay, for that I'm gonna go here, do something kind of with this difference here, right? And in this guy I'm gonna bring it down, which is a secondary mask, and for those masks I'm gonna play around with the range the same way we did here, right? Something like this. Right? Something like this. Something like this. Okay? So I have a nice blending of different materials, right? So and I can go here on my blending and starts to kind of crank them. Okay, so I have something going on here. Okay, something different. Right, something different. So that's the material, right? We have kind of okay. So now how can, it's much better than before, right? So before was just a single material, and now we have those little details, okay? And those details are on those materials. The only thing that I have to do now is going to select my texture that I need to bake, go here into my bake, okay? And I'm gonna use simple bake selection. I'm gonna select my object, look at that, I'm gonna select my object, okay? And choose PBR, okay? And choose whatever I wanted to bake, okay? And I want to bake the diffuse, metalness, normal, roughness, and specular, okay? This. And I will show you that's my UDIM texture, right? So the only thing that I need to do now is go here and bake. And then it will start to bake it, okay? But here it says it was aborted, probably because I didn't choose the object, okay? So I will add an object, which is this one plane 6, okay? I just add the object that I need to bake. Now I bake it, and then it is starting to bake in everything. Uh-oh, blender closed. Let me see if I can rescue my baking. Let's check if the materials are here. Materials are here, okay. So let's go back to UV and add an object which is plane 6, okay. PBR bakes, metal, normal, roughness, specular. Let's save this, okay, and now let's bake it and hope for the best. You see, I have now all my textures here baked easily. Look at that. Okay? Easily. It was baked like quick, right? Now I can go here to my object and I can delete, and having just this object. I can even delete these guys here, right? And then I go here into where. Oh, I didn't save this. Where are my, oh my goodness, where are my objects saved? Let me save as is here inside autosave. Okay, ideally is to have a folder with your object because everything will be baked on that folder. Okay, so I have to go here into my saving, go to my textures, anyway, I didn't save that was my fault. Okay, so in this case it doesn't matter. Let's grab this guy, okay, and choose specular, choose diffuse, choose roughness, metallic, metalness, they call it metalness, and normal. Okay, it saves you everything, so you just need to grab this and put inside your normal. Okay, but for that you need a normal map. Okay, that thing is the diffuse, so you play here. This guy down here is this is the metalness, you play here the metalness, your roughness, you play here your roughness, and your specular, you play here your specular. Okay, and that's the material that you have. If you render that, here we go, you have everything here baked into your PBR settings. Okay, so you have all your PBR, so your material it's ready for the game. Okay, with all those fancy details and textures, right? Of course, those will be even more detailed if you choose, instead of 1K, 2K texture, in this case of these guys here, right? So yeah, I hope you guys like it, and if you like it, subscribe my channel, thumbs up, or if you don't like, thumbs down. And if you want to check it out, my tools, geometry node tools, I'm gonna put the link below, and see you soon. Bye bye guys. Oh, the link For the baking tool, I will put that in the description as well, just in case. I'm not getting anything from them, but the tool is really great. That's why I make sure that I'm telling you about that.